Yeah, so we get back to the stage. We've got the ladies and Marsau on stage.
This is interesting because this is this was a name that's the women's time on stage, but Marsau is there.
Yeah, because Marsau has been involved in a lot of the issues with the women.
Yeah.
So he's on to speak his piece,
I guess.
And then we get clips and reels about did Marsau go too far with the women this season, and we see him talking about the Stormi situation and also about Mel's t-shirt business. Marsau speaks on everyone's business, including the ladies. Is how Kimmi feels.
And listen here, that goes back to people's point. Let me know in the comments below. Do y'all feel like Kimmi is too protective of the men on this show and things like that? Because guess what? I can say Marsau, he is the levity of the show in my eyes. I laugh at Marsau. He's quick-witted and things like that. Right or wrong or whatever, it's just fun. It's just entertaining to watch. And in that moment. But there is something to Marsau. He said in the beginning of this segment that, hey, they come and ask me what I think, and they say, no, we don't.
Yeah, nobody asked you
exactly.
what you think.
Continue.
Well, then we get on to the B word conversation. Marsau says that at first he was offended by the comment that Stormi made, but he knows that's what she does in her culture, so he just kind of leaves it at that.
Go ahead.
Stormi says that she uses that term for people with sass and attitude, and she said men usually move with more integrity, and he is poking for reactions for camera time, and that's what a B would do.
I don't understand how, because people try to make it as if like Marsau is saying something that is quote unquote inappropriate, and it's by saying it's her culture. They try to make it like what other culture is her besides a black African American woman? First of all, stop it, Carlos. That is not what Marsau means. He is literally repeating the words that Stormi said out her mouth. She said, "This is what I do." Guess what? I have been a bee since I was 2 years old or 3 years old. Whatever Stormi said in that moment when they was outside, and stuff like that. These are words. You cannot be offended, Stormi, by the words that you describe yourself and why you do. Yeah, this is just what we do and things like that. So my whole thing of, first of all, I don't like the idea or even the fact. And like I said, it's just a joke. And guess what? It is the boss. You know what I mean? Carlos joked around with Marsau in the beginning of the segment. Basically, I paraphrase to say, "I'm sitting with the big B." You get what I'm saying?
Yeah, I didn't like that.
I ain't like that either. Like don't play around with that word. You get what I'm saying? Because it's all jokes. It's all jokes and games until I'm fighting you because you're not Stormi.
Exactly.
dude, you get what I'm saying? But my whole thing is this idea that Stormi is still trying to justify calling this man out of his name is wild to me.
Yeah.
And like she knows what she's doing, and this whole thing of like sass and things like that, all that is coded. It's coded. That is actually more offensive than the actual the cultural word in America. Cause I know what she's trying to say, but guess what? But she don't want to say it, especially with Carlos sitting on the stage and things like that. So I'm like, hey, stop being offensive, Stormi. Just get that word off of this show when it comes to calling men that all together. Yeah. You know what I'm saying? Continue.
Yeah. And Carlos brings up how people have felt a way about Tisha allowing Stormi to call Marsau a B.
Facts.
And Tisha says that, well, she hasn't necessarily allowed Stormi to do it because she has no control over Stormi. But she says she feels sorry that Stormi would address a black man as a B, and she feels sorry for Courtney if this is an example of how she acts possibly in her household.
Okay. Listen here. I say this. Two things can be right. Number one, Tisha, you're lying. You did allow Stormi to call this man a B, your husband B, because the first time she called him a B was around you first before Marsau.
And that's what I don't get about Tisha. She's over here hooting and hollering and talking about pill popping, on the stage when nobody said nothing to her. But when somebody called your husband a B in direct your face,
insult,
you have nothing to say.
No, she says
that's the confusing part. Like the things that should get you riled up do nothing.
She says, you know what? Stormi is her own person. You know what I mean? Stormi's her own person. She's an adult. I can't make nobody do anything. But at the same time, when it comes to when you plagiarize, pop pills. No, listen here. My wife is confused. Stop confusing my wife, Tisha.
Yeah.
Okay? Listen. You should not call any man a B. That is a trigger word. Men don't even call each other that because that's a trigger word. We fight. You get what I'm saying? So Stormi, do not try to justify it. Do not try to speak in cold language in the sense of, oh, he's acting sass. Yeah, he acting like a woman and things like that. Basically, I know what you're saying. You get what I'm saying? This has nothing to do with, don't try to be offended by, he says the culture and things like that. That's the words you use to describe why you do it. And Tisha, you did allow it because I bet you if we was to just switch out the people, we put my wife in the place of Tisha's wife. My wife ain't letting nobody call me a B. No. And it's not even on some like type of like, I'm going to fight her.
Exactly. I'm not a fighter, but you're not going to sit in my face and continuously call my husband a B, and I'm not going to say anything. No. I'm not going to make you uncomfortable. Exactly. I'm not going to get up and walk away. Like, there's going to be a situation.
Exactly.
Like, we're not just going to continue the conversation.
Exactly.
Like, that's not going to happen.
That's not right. Continue.
Yeah. Well, Marsau says that he thinks that Stormi's insecure about being in the spotlight and that she just, is fine with having this negative attention on her, and she communicates negatively. And Stormi says that she has been known prior to Love and Marriage Huntsville, and Marsau and Tisha have downplayed how well she's been known.
Listen here, both things could be correct. I think Stormi is very insecure. I think throughout her whole season, she has shown insecurity. That's why she talks out and acts out in the way that she does. That's why her mouth is louder and things like that, because she's hiding something. But Tisha's insecure too.
Yeah.
So like this whole idea of quote unquote Stormi is insecure of the spotlight. I think Tisha is insecure too. She's probably the most insecure on the show. You get what I'm saying? Because we see the same things when it comes to their mouths and things like that. They go too far and things like that. Now going back to being known on the show, me personally, I didn't know Stormi before the show, but based off the information that is out about them, she is very successful, and she did become an overnight sensation when it came to her beauty products and things like that. So. And truth be told, I only know Marsau and Tisha through Love and Marriage Huntsville.
Right.
And Tisha can go on and try to argue on stage, talk about I'm a millionaire too and things like that and things of that nature. But I would say that probably Stormi money is probably a little bit more realer. You get what I'm saying? Than their money. But continue.
Yeah. Next.